Episode 8. A new face in the gym. The clanking of weights, the steady hum of treadmills, and the rhythmic beat of music filling the gym. It was all becoming familiar to Mathew now. The soreness that had once felt unbearable was still there, but it had shifted into something else. A reminder of progress. Fred had noticed the change. During their last session, as Mathew pushed through his final set, Fred smirked. "You know," he said, watching as Mathew struggled but refused to give up. "Your mindset is different now." Mathew, breathing heavily, wiped the sweat from his brow. "What do you mean?" Fred shrugged. "A few weeks ago, you would have quit halfway through that set. Now, you just keep going." He patted Mathew on the back. "I like seeing that." Mathew felt something warm in his chest. Pride, maybe. He wasn't where he wanted to be yet, but he wasn't who he used to be either. The weeks of training had pushed Mathew to limits he didn't even know he had. The early mornings, the meal plans, the discipline. It was exhausting. He had never eaten so much food in his life. Chicken, rice, eggs, protein shakes. It felt like a full-time job just trying to keep up. At home, his mom had taken notice. "You're eating more than your dad used to," she teased, watching as Mathew shoveled food into his mouth between deep sighs. Mathew groaned. "I swear, if I have to eat another plate of rice, I'm gonna lose my mind." His mom chuckled, setting a glass of water next to him. "Well, whatever you're doing, it's working. You look healthier." Healthier. He hadn't really thought about it like that. He had only been focused on the numbers on the scale, the weights he was lifting, and the soreness in his muscles. But was he actually getting healthier? Stronger? The thought lingered in his mind as he finished his meal. At the gym, later that day, Mathew found himself lost in his usual routine, warming up, stretching, setting up his first exercise. But today, something, or rather, someone, pulled his focus. A girl, about his age, standing by the squat rack. He had never seen her before. She moved with purpose, adjusting the weights, her expression calm and focused. Unlike a lot of people in the gym, she wasn't trying to get attention. She wasn't showing off. She was just in her own world. Fred caught him staring and smirked. "See something interesting?" Mathew quickly looked away. I don't know, she's new, right?" Fred nodded. "Yeah, I think so." "Why? You thinking about introducing yourself?" Mathew scoffed. "No way. I barely know how to talk to people at the gym as it is." Fred chuckled. "Well, maybe that's something we'll have to work on too." Mathew rolled his eyes, but as he moved through his workout, he found himself glancing back at her now and then. She was strong, focused, and completely in her own world. And for some reason, that made Mathew even more curious. As Mathew finished his last exercise, he made his way toward the water fountain. Just as he reached out to press the button, another hand landed on it at the same time. He looked up, and there she was. For a second, neither of them moved. "Oh, sorry," Mathew mumbled, stepping back. She gave him a small smile. "It's fine," she said, taking a quick sip before nodding at him. "You can go." Mathew nodded, his mind scrambling for something to say. But before he could think of anything, she was already walking back to her workout. He exhaled, rubbing the back of his neck. Smooth Mathew. Real smooth. That night, Mathew sat at his desk, scrolling through his phone before setting it down. His routine had become predictable. Train, eat, work, sleep. But now something felt different. "It's nothing," he told himself. "She's just another person at the gym." But as he lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, he couldn't help but wonder. Would he ever have the confidence to talk to someone like her? And just like that, a new thought settled in Mathew's mind. A challenge unlike any he'd faced before. One that had nothing to do with weights, but everything to do with courage.